Micallef Tonight with Sean Micallef. Special guests Craig David, Marcus Graham, Nicole Livingstone, David Bridie, and the musical cuttings of the Channel 9. And now here's the presenter of the show, Sean Micallef.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just saw the headline outside the news agency, "Poo wiped from court." I should hope so. Good evening, I'm Sean Micallef. Thank you. Well, you know, what's going on with film festivals in this country, I ask you? Of course, the banned David Irving's film from the Melbourne Festival and Ken Park, banned from the Sydney one. If I may get a bit serious here for one moment, censorship is as disgusting a word as in my view, and should be stricken from the English language. Even the new Harry Potter book has been banned by some schools because, and I quote, "it promotes the idea that evil can win." I mean, that's fine, but does anyone want to ban the Logies? No, they don't. Well, they do, but for a lot of different reasons. Anyway, nothing offensive planned for tonight's show. We're obviously hoping it'll happen spontaneously. Excuse me while I talk to this lot. They're very quiet tonight. Hello, everybody. Yes. What sort of weekend did you have?
One with Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, me too. It's a good opportunity over the 2 days to absorb the news of the previous week, and there has been a lot of it about since we last met. Coast Watch have been criticised for failing to detect that boatload of Vietnamese refugees which got within a kilometre of Port Hedland. I think that's a little unfair on Coast Watch. That close to the mainland, they should have been detected by Neighbourhood Watch. God bless you. Part-time prisoner Rene Rivkin is recovering from brain surgery. I'm glad that he's well, but I am sceptical. I think it's the beginning of a plan where if he gets enough of himself removed, he will have escaped. Greg Khan, anyone? Yes, sure, man. One of the Qantas flight attendants who disarmed that lunatic a few weeks back returned to work this Thursday, although he admitted to having a few butterflies in his stomach, which I would have thought constituted smuggling and was grounds for immediate dismissal. Good news, though. John Howard's daughter, Melanie, is engaged, but her father is still vacant, so I guess that balances things out. I do feel sorry for the groom, however. Nothing wrong with marrying Melanie. I'm sure she's delightful. It's just that, you know, having to invite John Howard to your Bucks night. Oh, hello, John. How are you?
Hi. I've taken care of the Stag film. I bought Rocky and Bullwinkle. I hope no one minds a squirrel being in it, but I like squirrels.
And he does. It's on record saying that. But no, congratulations to the Howards. I'm sure it'll be the wedding of the year 1955. And where is Saddam Hussein? Is he the new Elvis? Well, let's see how the first few albums go and the remake of Blue Hawaii before we start jumping to conclusions. Great show for you tonight. Swim star Marcus Graham, actor Nicole Livingstone. Sorry. Craig David talks, David Bridie sings, Lavinia Nixon Lavinias. I'll be getting on my high horse. I haven't got any material, I'll be getting straight back off, but it's nice to get the exercise in. And of course, what show, I should say, what show wouldn't be incomplete without Francis Greenslade and the Channel 9. Can you hear me over the deafening?
Before you even ask me, Sean, yes, there has been some change to the lineup. The entire brass section is out with a dislocated knee, Sean.
Oh, dear.
And in their place, Shemp from the Three Stooges and Rebecca De Mornay!
Ever dependable. Good to hear. Well, our first act tonight got their start at Melbourne's Joan of Arc Primary School, where their combination of superb athletic timing and genuinely interesting lyrics won the heart of many a teacher on playground duty. Here tonight to perform one of their most famous routines, would you please welcome them?
Murgatroyd, fancy you be. Chinese takeaway number 43. The duck in the abattoir likes to eat the cheese, but don't forget to fill in your tax returns, please.
Thank you very much, girls. Thank you. And I really don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that act was nothing short of 55 seconds. So thank you very much indeed. Hey, did you hear that Kraft are going to reduce the salt and fat components of their products and take out some of the stuff that's bad so they're more healthy? Do you see that? There it is there. Bloody Americans, they don't get it, do they? This is what they've done to Vegemite. This is the new Vegemite. Vegemite Clear. I mean, it's just not the same, is it? I'll prove it if I may. Jamie Oliver would do it a lot faster than me. No knife, no knife. Dear God. Oh, well. Okay. Maybe have a close-up, please. The acid... Oh, no, not yet, please. Don't be revolted this early. The acid test for anything involving Vegemite. Oh, dear. No, it's not the same, is it, ladies and gentlemen? What did we use, Arch? Stay there. Stay there. No, don't follow me. Don't follow me. Good evening. Great to be back. I suspect if I pick up my glass, I won't be able to let it go, because it's glue, isn't it, Arch? Great to eat what used to be on Far Lap's feet. Riveting television, isn't it? Well, of course, what was I talking about? Well, of course, halfway through school holidays and all around the country, parents are scratching their heads. Could be either a head lice infestation or perhaps they're wondering how to keep their kids occupied. I arranged to have my own cryogenically frozen for 2 weeks, and it's working out very well. Alternatively, the newspapers are usually quite helpful, offering lists of suggested activities like movies or museum trips, etc. But what about the kids who can't get out and about? Well, that's why it's great that the Immigration Department has issued this wonderful booklet. Here we go. This wonderful booklet here, activities for detainee children called Drag a Stick in the Dirt. It's chock full of great ideas. Have a look at this. As you can see there, the first week's reasonably full. Second week, there's even more to do in the second week. There we go. And look, it's never ending, really, isn't it? They still wouldn't get this sort of thing back home, would they? What are they complaining about? Speaking of asylum seekers, Border Protection authorities have redeemed themselves. They may have missed the refugees off Port Hedland, but they did manage to catch these 180 people who were detected off Circular Quay today. And I believe the passengers say they were seeking asylum from the oppressive cost of living on Sydney's North Shore. When will they end? You know, one of the great things about working at Channel 9, apart from the legalised cannibalism, is being able to go behind the scenes to see some famous shows being made here. My favourite is Current Affair with Ray Martin. Everybody like Ray Martin? Yeah! And it was there that I discovered one of television's greatest secrets. Have a look at this.
Ray Martin
is Channel 9's longest...
No, that's all right, I'll do this.
OK, sure, yep.
Ray Martin is Channel 9's longest-standing journalist. Although true it is, he's done most of that standing seated behind a desk, he doesn't do it alone. His nightly top-rating show receives invaluable assistance from floor managers, makeup personnel, wardrobe and, of course, workers in the canteen. But these people even I knew about. What about the people I didn't?
Is it OK if I watch from here, Bill?
Yeah, no worries, Shane.
Sean, actually.
Secretly filming behind the scenes on A Current Affair was very exciting, but pretty much as I'd expected, until I noticed, off to the side of the set, a woman.
Okay, we're on the air in 5, 4, 3, 2...
Nice to meet you again. Tonight's story is a radical new move by...
In all the years I'd watched A Current Affair, I'd had no idea there was an A Current Affair dancer. Who was she? Why had she never appeared on screen? I made some inquiries around the network, but it was made clear to me that I was asking the wrong questions.
See you tomorrow night.
See ya.
And so to take us to the... Could we cut back to me, please? And so to take us to the break in her first appearance on Australian television, if you discount the 2 occasions in the footage we just showed, the A Current Affair dancer herself, Emily Stote, will be back with Marcus Graham right after this. Thank you very much and welcome back. Micallef, tonight's own Lavinia Nixon is down at the tribunal, aren't you, Lavinia?
I certainly am, Sean.
Yeah, it does it good to get out once in a while. OK. My next guest tonight is... Was expecting a slightly bigger laugh for that. Oh, good, got it. My first guest tonight is a man who has been treading the boards for the last few months. No, he's not the owner of some new weird winery who's taken the bouquet expression woody too literally. He's in fact an actor appearing on stage at the moment in the Blue Room. And when I say at the moment, I don't mean that literally either. Or if I do, I certainly hope he's quick on his feet because he's going to have to make it here from the Theatre Royal in Sydney in half a second between me finishing the introduction and the start of the walk-on music. Let's see if he can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marcus Graham. No breath at all, Marcus.
A night of interpretive dance.
That's all right. No, I'm quite happy to do that. Let's go with that for the next half an hour. Well, I'm out of breath. You're out of breath. It's going to be a here. We'll get the
Can I share that water
the
with
turtle take over. Sure, sure. Look, I've got nothing to hide, Marcus.
Good.
Marcus, I thank you very much for coming along here tonight, Marcus.
It's all right, mate.
Would you like a Vita Wheat for you? Oh, no, I wouldn't recommend it. Thanks for coming along because I know... You can have that water. You can have that water, please. Because I know that after take your time, I'll fill...
You said you can do anything you
I'll
like.
fill the dead air. Yeah, I didn't mean all at once, though. I could have padded it out to 8 minutes.
Save it up for like...
That's OK.
Bits and pieces.
Marcus, in fact, helped us out with the pilot. I want to talk about the pilot, if you like, because... And I do apologise for... It was a gaffe, if I could say that. I made a slight error. It was embarrassing and a little uncomfortable for you. But I think we've got the footage, which will give us a chance to catch our breath. Watch Marcus's face when I mention the Rocky Horror Show. I think we've still got it. Which is very interesting. And, of course, then you went on to do Rocky Horror. After the Rocky Horror. Sorry about that. I think I was partially to blame.
Partially, yeah. Right. I provoked it. I was asking to be here.
But you're still a man of theatre, you know, Rocky Horror man. You're still a man of theatre now because you're doing the Blue Room with
Siggy.
That's Sigrid Thornton, ladies and gentlemen. He's not just smoking a cigarette as he's on stage. Sigrid Thornton. You are the only 2 actors in this theatrical feast.
You're still puffing.
I am sad, isn't it? You recovered at least a minute ago. But you play 10 characters. The two of you play 10 characters.
5 each. Bit of a daisy chain of events, I suppose.
It is in terms of the storyline as well. Now, I know everybody goes on about the fact that you and Sigrid appear nude in it, and everyone's asked you that, and they seem to bypass the acting involved, and it's a very delicate piece and a well-written play.
Well, it's sort of interesting. I've taken my clothes off, and they've all said I'm a good actor, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but, you know.
Well, you obviously,
going with it,
you're obviously acting.
I'm going with it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, that's ridiculous. Does that just show that you're credible or
I
something?
finally beguiled them, I think, is the thing.
With your nudity. Are you a hairy man? Are you a hairy man?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
Yeah, you hairy?
Well, I don't want to give too much away about my life because I like to remain an enigma. But
Good plan.
If you don't mind me, well, I mean, I get uncomfortable taking my jacket off in public. Let alone.
You do get nude occasionally, though, don't you? Once or twice.
No, at home, maybe in the privacy of my own bed chamber, I will remove my clothing down to a point. You know, don't go too ridiculous.
Right, yeah. Keep things under control.
I'll keep the long underwear on, and then put the pyjamas on with the built-in feet and hands, and then go to bed. But is it a particularly? Did you have to face any demons, or did you? I know people like, but I do want to ask you about the nudity because I want to ask you about it to get it out of the way.
Okay, then. That's really nice of you.
That's right. We're going to spend 6 minutes on it.
Okay, right. Okay. No, I find it really easy to do actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you done it before? Have you obviously taken clothes off before, but on stage in front of people before?
I did some at drama school actually. Well, actually, once you've done Rocky Horror and danced around in women's underwear, I think you can probably do anything. You know?
Yeah. But that's mask though. That's sort of you're covering yourself with character.
Yeah,
I suppose you're playing characters you obviously are playing characters in this piece, but to be completely without costume or affectation.
Building another set.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's
not a bad sign though.
The replacement variety show. Yeah, I'm a little worried. You've just come back from Perth, which is your hometown. Was it more confronting in Perth?
Well, actually, my grandmother came to see the show in Perth. My grandmother is 101 years old. She came to.
She would have got a discount then.
She got a discount. She came to see the opening night, and she said, "My hearing's not too good, but my eyesight is still very keen." And thank you very much.
All right. Okay.
So she enjoyed it, but which was good.
That's good in a sort of weird way, I guess. It's good that she came back and said she didn't like it. That would have been a problem.
That would have been a little shattering.
Yeah, a little. And mind you, nothing she hasn't seen before, I assume. Now, the play...
For a while.
The play's been going on for some time. Have you ironed out all the bugs, or is there still things that you and Sigrid have to negotiate when you're performing
Well,
this?
there's kind of... Actually, I've got this kind of candelabra with 5 candles, and it's rather tricky holding a candelabra when you're naked. 5 candles, a wax issue.
Oh, I see, right.
It's a wax issue.
But you might be worried about lighting that 6th candle.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the wax that's the problem. Just for you, not
wax
for
can be fun when it's intended to be so.
But not when it's, reasonably hot. You're no stranger, though, to trying new things. No, to try new things, because after the success of... Might I try your water as well?
Please.
I'll drink from there. Because after the success of Good Guys, Bad Guys, which you did
for Channel 9.
Was for Channel 9, was it?
Yeah, it was actually.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on Channel 9.
Is this Channel 9?
This is Channel 9.
Oh, my God.
And you chanced your arm in America after that, and you went over there, and you worked with some very interesting directors over there.
Yes.
Shannon Doherty, I understand.
Fine.
Tell us how, first of all, she came to be a director, and how
I think it was the last episode of the show that she was going to do, and she would only do it if I would let her direct it or something.
Right.
Okay. I don't know.
This is Charmed.
But this is Charmed. Yes.
And you were the guest
and I was
warlock?
a fire-breathing warlock of today. Yes. And that was kind of fun.
Yeah. And what was she like as a director?
She was a bit prickly, actually. She some days very happy and nice, and other days wouldn't give you the time of day.
A cow? Is that what you're...
Well, you know, she was probably... She's very... I hope she's not watching. She's very... she's a sweet, lovely girl.
Is she?
Sexy as hell, actually.
Yes.
But sort of did my head in a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you happy with the performance? Did she, did she extract it from you?
That was fun. Actually, the best bit about that, we were shooting on the Disney Ranch, and Disney Ranch is like this huge ranch in LA where Walt Disney used to go for his holidays, and a lot of people shoot there. And we were there, and I was sitting around going, I know that barn, and I know that track. Where am I? It turned out that's where they shot the entire series of Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, I see.
And so I was like, I'm in Hazzard County. This is fantastic. And that's when Charmed got really interesting for me.
Right. It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe to get.
Yeah.
And you work with a slightly less weird director, I suppose, in David Lynch.
David Lynch did television pilots.
Yes.
David Lynch, who was as kooky as he seems. Yeah. He actually would use a megaphone to say action. Like if we're sitting this close, he'd still go,
not
and action, you know. Thanks, I would have heard it anyway. But
What a strange... And
Thanks, but
did it go to you know, what happened to that TV pilot?
Well, it was released as Mulholland Drive.
Oh, I see. So it didn't work as a TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that worked as a joke?
Very, very... Well, no, we're just moving on. The Rocky Horror Show... Oh, well, look, the Blue Room is start cranking up again on August 30th. Is that right? In Sydney?
I think so. I think it's August 30th.
Let's have a look here.
At the
Blue Room at the Theatre Royal in Sydney
Royal.
from the 30th of August, a strictly limited season. And it may extend. It may go... It may come back to Melbourne.
It may come back to Melbourne. We had to split the season because I was doing a film called Josh Jarman in Melbourne, and we had to... they offered you a role and you couldn't do it because you were busy doing...
I know. It's hammering together this success story.
Pit Mushin's still getting over.
Yeah, I'm hurrying up. Okay. Look, we've got a call. We take some viewer calls, we'll take a call now. Let's take a call from one of our viewers, Dave from St Kilda is on the line. Hello, Dave.
Yeah, g'day. Look, I actually haven't got a question for Marcus, although I am a big fan. This is Dave Hughes, Sean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remember you had me on last week?
Yeah, I remember. He called me a wanker on air last week.
Did he really?
Yeah, look, Sean, I'm really sorry about that, mate. I'm just ringing to apologise. I felt terrible all week. I don't know why I said it, mate. I just hope you'll forgive me.
Dave, it's okay. Dave, it takes a big man to admit he's wrong and apologise, particularly on national television. I accept your apology. And I only hope you've learned a valuable lesson from this whole experience about how you should respect fellow performers and colleagues, particularly those like me, who are older and perhaps a little bit wiser than yourself.
You really are a wanker, aren't you?
Thank you, Dave. Would you please thank Marcus Graham? Thank you very much, Marcus. We'll be right back with Nicole Livingstone and Craig David. And welcome back. And before we go on, a quick plug. Good to get that out of the way. My next guest is as good as yours. Many of you would remember her as Nicole Stevenson, backstroker and triple Olympian. Others would think of her as Nicole Livingstone, ex-backstroker and triple Olympian and sports reporter. And a few of you might prefer to think of her as Nicole Travastic, ABC TV news journalist, in which case you're way off being a completely different person. Whoever she is, here she is now, Ms. Nicole Livingstone. Thank you, Nicole, for that very demure entrance.
Oh, I feel like I should have done something.
No, I don't want anyone moving for the rest of the show. Now, look, I always make the observation about your name change, but I mean, you're reasonably tired of that. I'm sure it's not that confusing, is it? It's Nicole Livingstone. But the thing that worries me is that you actually had it doesn't worry me, but it concerns me for you that you had a river cat named after you in Sydney.
I have a river cat named after me in Sydney.
But it's named after you as Nicole Stevenson. And now you're Nicole Livingstone.
Which is a bit sad.
Are you sad for that?
Well, yeah, because it's running around with my ex-husband's name on it. So.
It's not fair at all. You see, what we've done a good deed.
Oh, have you?
And we like to do good deeds
here
on the show.
Vandalising?
We've got this for you. We think the next time you're actually in Sydney, you might like to tie a bit of a rope around your waist, go down the side of the River Cat and screw that on. We saved a bit of money on the Nicole because obviously that's got changed, and the O in the end. So that's our gift from Micallef tonight to you.
Thank you. Wow.
On the back.
It'd be a bit like an anchor, though, wouldn't it? Jumping in Sydney Harbour and sticking
No, not really. Well, it's not brass. It's just plastic. The props department here. Now, in fact, you're going over to Barcelona or Barcelona to see the swimming. Or commentate the swimming, but I can't say that and get the laugh for thuth if I say I can't say that. You're commentating for Channel 7, is that right?
Oh, add 2 more.
Channel 9, is it?
Yes.
That's a coincidence because I work for Channel 9 and Marcus works for Channel 9.
And this is Channel
9. Okay, now do you still get nervous when you see the pool? Is that like an instinctive thing for you?
Not really, but this is going to be a bit of a trip down memory lane because I went to the 1992 Olympics and won a bronze there and going back to Montjuic. Sorry, it was a
It's all right.
bit of a flare there,
It's
international
all right.
flare. But obviously it's in the same area.
Ray Warren's been helping you with your pronunciation, hasn't
He has.
It's very
he
good.
has. You could be a bit like the Trista Tristar. It's a bit of a Sydney thing with the rugby league.
Oh, okay.
A bit of a joke with Rabs, whether he says Trista or Tristar. You could be Micallef or Micallef.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He does.
Does he? Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
He actually extensive research with the pronunciation of names. We obviously had a lot of Chinese swimmers that were coming out and swimming quite well, and we were having a little bit of trouble working out the pronunciation. So Rabs actually went to the local Chinese restaurant in Castle Hill in Sydney and actually asked them, how do you pronounce these names?
Right.
We're still confused, but...
There's a lot of backpacking Scots working at that Chinese restaurant. and Marcus, have you swum before?
Once or twice.
Yeah?
In my own vomit, once or twice.
Right. I just wanted to include you in the conversation. That's all right.
I was feeling a little left out. Thank you.
That's all right. Thank you. So would you correct if Ray says Barcelona? Would you correct him? Make him say Barcelona?
No, because there's a golden rule that whatever Rabs says, I go with. Whatever the head caller says.
Right.
But
Your time will come, Nicole.
Well, I could have a bit of a lisp every now and again.
All right. Now, you're how do you think we'll go? Because I know traditionally we do very well at these World Championships, but we got a few out, haven't we? We've got Michael Clem's out with a shoulder.
Petria Thomas is out, and she would have been defending 2 World Championship titles. So, and we just had Elka Graham pull out with a heart condition. So,
broken heart. She's quite sick, is she?
Yeah, and so it means that the girls are obviously a little bit down with Petria and Elka out, and Sarah Ryan also pulled out. But
and you had a couple of retirements as well?
Yeah, we've had some retirements post-Sydney, obviously, but people like Susie O'Neill. But the team will go fairly well. We're defending 13 world titles. I'm not sure if we'll get there, but Thorpe will have his work cut out with him in his new event, which is the 200 IM, because there's a very good American swimmer by the name of Michael Phelps. So
who beat him?
He's just broken the world record in that event. So he's chosen the 200 IM as his new event, like he did the 100 backstroke back at the Commonwealth Games. And I know Matt Walsh has been a bit of a regular on your program.
He has. I'm a bit worried, actually, because he's been mucking around with us not training. And he's probably not even over there yet. He's probably backstage.
No, but he tapers for a long time, so he rests for a long time, so probably fitting in well.
When you say Thorpe, do you mean Ian Thorpe?
Yes,
good,
sorry.
I don't know him that well, that's all. So you think, in spite of the change in the star lineup, we should do reasonably well?
I think the boys' team will go very well. The girls' team, there's only I think there's only 4 athletes over 20 years of age in the girls' team, so probably a bit more of a learning experience for them leading into 2004.
Why is it that we do very well at the World Championships and less well? I'm not suggesting we don't do well, but we might pick up 4 or 5 gold medals at the Olympics when it's basically the same groups of people competing against each other.
I think the Olympics are number one, obviously, in terms of the rating of events. So a lot of athletes really save themselves for the Olympic Games. So we've had a couple of big internationals withdrawn, like Francesca van Elmsnick and Lenny Kreiselberg. Sorry, I just thought I'd throw a couple of big names at you.
No, I'm impressed.
They've both withdrawn from the world, so they're saving themselves for the Olympics. So
they've withdrawn themselves from the world. My God.
From the world. I'm talking swimming lingo.
They might be going to Pluto or something.
Yeah, from
Interstellar.
the
I knew what you meant. Liesl Jones is still a big hope, do you think?
Yeah.
I was talking to Marcus. Liesl Jones a good hope? What do you think? Okay. What do you think? You agree with Marcus?
Yeah, I think she'll do very well. She's improving every time she races. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely. I'm with you on this one.
She's improving every time she races. So.
You know, she was once she said when she grows up,
she wants to take my job.
She wants your job. Oh, you've obviously heard about it. Have you dealt with her on that? Have you had a chat to her?
Yeah, I said keep swimming. Just swim till you're 35.
That's why you wanted to do well.
Yeah, so she'll stay swimming and not jump out.
Where is the Australian team at the moment? This is testing your pronunciation.
Okay, because I actually thought it was single finger, but it's Sindelfingen.
Sindelfingen?
Yes.
All right, and that's in Spain?
It's in Germany.
Okay, no, it's in fact in Baden-Württemberg, isn't it? In Germany?
Yes.
Thank you.
It is.
And you're a big fan of the Germans, aren't you? You love the Germans.
The East Germans.
The East Germans
See,
robbed you of
it's all
your gold.
united now.
I know, but when they were the bad Germans, the East Germans.
That was pretty scary.
A bit of drug taking going on, and they stole your. So you say they stole your gold. Is that right?
Well, there was a couple of East Germans that finished ahead of me, but that was always scary. Walking into the change rooms, sort of thinking, "Am I in the right change room?" A few male voices coming out of the change rooms that have the little female logo on the door, but
it's the penises that give them away, though. You know.
Well, you know, within the biz, we actually call that the wing keel.
Oh, I see. So that's how she won.
Yes.
Oh, that's fair enough. All right, well, look, when do you leave to join them in Schneidelfinger?
I'm going straight to Barcelona, so I miss out on single.
You're going straight to where?
To Barcelona.
That's much better. All right. Well, please thank well, I hope they all do well, and good luck with the commentating. We'll keep an eye. It's on Channel 9.
It is on Channel 9.
Please thank Nicole Livingstone. Hey, thank you. That's good. Now we're not going to the break just yet. Nicole, Marcus, you fans of popular music?
Sure.
Yes.
Excellent. Good segue. Well, he was the youngest ever British male solo artist to debut at #1, but not anymore. No, he hasn't changed nationality, gender, or become part of a duet. He's older. Plus, you can only debut once. He's still at #1, though. Please welcome Craig David. Hang on, sorry. Bloody kids have been at the television again. Excuse me just a minute. Hang on, wait a minute. Is that Osama bin Laden?
Sean, greetings.
Yes.
I'm waiting for interview with Rove.
I see. Well, look, you know, Rove's not on until tomorrow night, and we've got the satellite for 15 minutes. Would you like a quick chat?
I'm sorry, it is an exclusive.
Ah. Don't know how he gets them. All right, sorry. Thank you. Goodbye, Osama. Sorry about that, Craig. Craig, you wake. Craig David, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Well, what's up indeed? Well, look, thank you very much for coming on the show. Well, I suppose you haven't come on the show, you're there, but you had a pretty big night last night, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a very long day. They had a party in the park, which is in Hyde Park, and they had like 100,000 people there, which was crazy. And we performed 4 songs, along with a lot of other acts. I mean, you had Beyonce shaking her thing on stage, which was quite a cool thing to see. We had fun, though. It was a very cool day.
You also had Micallef shaking his thing on the stage as well. That must have been very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, funny, there's a massive difference between Beyonce shaking her thing and Micallef, but yeah, there's a few people feeling Micallef shaking.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I'm sure there would be. This is there's a picture in the press over here of Prince Charles, and I think one of the charities is Prince Charles Charities, and the picture in the newspaper over here of him, and the caption was that he was being taught the lingo and hand gestures of the hood. And he was described as the rockin' prince. I just wondered whether you had a hand in teaching him the lingo and the hand gestures of the hood, or whether you left that to others.
You know what, I did actually leave that to a few other people who had some new street things to explain to him. And he seemed to get the whole lingo pretty well, so from what I saw.
Oh, that's frightening.
I think it was from this... Exactly. I mean, it seems from someone who's a prince. Imagine him when he's king now. He's going to really be showing the whole of the UK a few little things.
Good. No, he will truly be a man of the people, But you, in fact, you were brought up in the hood, weren't you? At least in the hood as it exists in the UK, in a reasonably rough neighbourhood for you as a child growing up?
You know what? Southampton, where I'm from, which is like on the south coast of England, it wasn't as bad as a lot of other places in the UK. I mean, you were surrounded by so many different things. You could have easily have got caught up in crime, in drugs, and all that kind of stuff. But it comes down to the individual. And me personally, I was like, my music was the one thing that was on my mind. I was so passionate about it that I think it allowed me to kind of stay focused on what I was doing as opposed to getting caught up in all that, which was very easy to have got caught up in.
You did stray from the path, though, in the early stages, because you were a stamp collector, weren't you, in the early days of your youth. Is that right? Did that take you away from the music?
Well, my uncle, he kind of was an avid stamp collector, and he kind of slowly introduced me to the whole thing, which I thought was fascinating at first. And I go to these like stamp places on a Sunday and trying to look for a penny black. But later on down the line, when you start sort of finding out about being in the clubs and DJing and girls, the stamps don't seem to have as much relevance as they did.
No, they lose their hold, don't they, as you get older? Hopefully you won't relapse into it anyway.
Well, they lose their value, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Look, your music's very highly regarded by people like Elton John and Bono and Jennifer Lopez too. Does that sort of endorsement matter to you, or are you flattered by that, or is it just irrelevant? You'd continue making the same music whether those people liked it or not?
I mean, it's amazing when you get some respect and adulation from your peers. I mean, Elton John. I mean, he's one of the most prolific songwriters of this century, and I mean, like Eric Clapton and U2, Bono said some amazing things not so long ago about my music, and working with Sting, I think it's amazing that people who have had so much success and have never jeopardized their integrity and have just stay true to their music, appreciating what I'm doing, because I'm a newcomer to all of this, and I hope that I can have as much success and longevity as those guys.
One influence that is rather strange is the influence of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in your work. I don't think there's any other musical artist in the world who would be influenced or even admit to being influenced by Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but you've got the title of your first album is influenced by that film, as is, I guess the single from your most recent album, Flavour. Is that a particularly important film for you? Is it something that you grew up watching?
You know, I just think that there's certain things when you're growing up that you remember, and you remember everything about it. And because I was a chocoholic, I love to eat food, and I think that my stomach was kind of a good sign of how much I love to eat food back then.
You're a fat boy,
so
were you?
kind of that whole Augustus. Oh yeah, I was chubby. Which was a good thing, because I think there's still a fat kid inside of me trying to get out every day, and I think. The funny thing about it is you see how things change. From back then, it was a very different perception of me, but inside I was still the same Craig. So now it's kind of weird to be now performing and have this sort of interest from females in a slightly different way, when thinking back in the day, you weren't exactly the same back then. You wanted the guy with the six-pack who was all ripped, and me, sort of the chubby kid who had a pretty cool personality, wasn't getting as much love. So I guess it was an unfolding experience, which is interesting.
I see. Well, Jennifer Lopez has certainly received a bit of love as a result of your work. She maintains that your album, Born to Do It, was pretty much the soundtrack for one of her honeymoons. I think it was the honeymoon with Chris Judd. Does that sort of creep you out a bit when you hear that?
You know what? It kind of puts a lot of funny pictures in my mind. Not funny, but quite cool pictures in my mind of her kind of getting down to my music, which is quite crazy. It's a shame it didn't really last, though, so it didn't really speak too much of my songs.
No, do you blame yourself for the divorce?
As long as she had a good time. Well, maybe she was enjoying a little bit of Fill Me In. Then she probably went through that whole 7 days with Chris Judd, and instead of chilling on the Sunday, she was walking away. So I'm probably one of those ones for her.
All right. Well, look, you're in Australia, you know, very reasonably soon, in October and November. We look forward to having you here, Craig, and thank you very much for joining us tonight.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to be out there and see all you guys.
Okay. Cheers.
No worries, man.
And look, incidentally, if you want to be digging it with Craig David's Australian tour dates are up on the screen now, I think. Oh, no, sorry. He'll be eating those, certainly. But these are the 2 dates, really. There we go. And that's for this year. That's Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth. Sorry, Hobart. Nothing for you. Although apparently you're getting Toothless Joe Haystack and the Hee Haw Jug Band instead of... Tickets are on sale tomorrow. Please thank Craig David, Nicole Livingstone, and of course Marcus Graham. Right back with David Bridie and me on my high horse. Welcome back. I'm speaking with David Bridie, who's about to perform for you shortly. Someone cued me early to start the interview, and most of it's already taken place, but I can assure you it was very entertaining, wasn't it, David?
It's one of the best.
Very entertaining. One of the best you've had, I'm sure. Now, of course, just to recap, for those of you who weren't listening during the commercial break, you're from the band Not Drowning Waving and also My Friend the Chocolate Cake, but you're solo now. You've been solo for a while.
That's correct, yeah.
Yes. How long have you been solo?
3 years, 4 years.
3 years, 4 years. All right, correct. Excellent, excellent. Accords with my research. research. Here is this is the latest album, which is from David Bridie, and you're going to sing what track from this one for us tonight?
We thought we'd sing 100 Flowers in Bloom.
It's a very good one because you've been rehearsing that one.
Yes.
Now, David, you know, you're a musical artist with a lot of cred, often with a serious undertone or overtone running through your work. You're politically informed, you're savvy, and this is Channel 9, all right? Now, what I thought we'd do, I hope you don't mind, we've sort of done this without checking with anybody from your, your agency, your handlers, or whatever they call them, in the music biz, you know. But we got some dancers.
Excellent.
Would that be all right? Would you be objecting to that too much?
No, our dancing's pretty ordinary, so...
All right, excellent. Well, that's
any
good
help
to
we
hear.
can get, yeah.
All right. Now, you can go in and get ready, get your tap shoes on,
okay.
and I'll fill for you. Thank you. David Bridie is going to be performing for us very shortly. Thank you, David. But right now, it's time for me to get on my high horse. Thank you. Greeting cards. Don't look at it yet. Greeting cards. Now, the hallmark of a good greeting card is the hallmark. Or is it? Well, slap your peepers on this. Poof, you're four. Is this some kind of new trend? Abusive birthday cards for toddlers? Do they have a hey dickhead, you're three range? Well, there are actually children out there who are coming out of the closet when they should be inside playing hide and seek. And what's the deal with the picture? Have a look at the picture. A cat wearing a dress and shoes, which has apparently been crowned king, surrounded by flying and costumed mice with wands. And they say Harry Potter encourages witchcraft. No marks to hallmark. Into the bin. Okay. Sorry, it's upside down. It is actually. The letter H, not so much the letter as the word used to pronounce the letter H. The only letter in the alphabet where the sound the letter makes isn't employed in its own pronunciation. Ha 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 ha. The letter appears in the word, certainly, I'll give you that, but it's at the end and it's silent, more a sort of cameo appearance than anything else. I mean, I enjoy irony as much as the next man, but freak me sideways, partners! And if you're a cockney who's ever been corrected by a Catholic pedant for dropping your H's, you know how brain-fizzing it can be to be told off by somebody who adds them to a word that doesn't even have one, except at the end in a non-featured role. And don't get me started on the Spanish pronunciation of J. Holy frijoles! Into the bin! Okay. Sade. The seductive and silken-voiced songstress who makes you want to hang up your whip and leave the bin-filling game behind. At least that's how I felt until I heard this. Coast to coast, okay. LA to Chicago. Chicago's over 1,000 kilometres from the ocean. Thank God Sade's a smooth operator instead of a tour operator, because with her knowledge of the coastal cities of continental United States, it's going to be a freaking nightmare making those connecting flights. 4 points for recognising that Los Angeles is on the west coast. I'll give you that, Sade. I have no problem booking through Sade's agency if she was running some sort of tour through the Bay Area, but to trust her to get you anywhere near the Atlantic is folly, gentlemen. Folly! Perhaps over billions of years, a gradual shift in the Earth's tectonic plates will eventually justify Sade's bizarro grasp of cartography, but until then, into the bin! Greg Matthews said Graham Gooch. There we go. What is the point of having an undetectable hair transplant if you go on television and tell everybody about it? Sort of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Mind you, for it to be truly undetectable, you'd still have to look bald. Things that cancel themselves out, into the bin! Yeah, must remember to put that out tonight. Right now, a song celebrating botany. And there really are too few of these around. David Bridie with 100 Flowers in Bloom. And we'll be right back after this.
Ratchet those monkeys up a gelatin toll booth, Corporal, and get me a pasty, Maureen, because it's time for audience participation, where you, the viewer, get to be the star as we play Bobbing for Apples. Over to you two dudes.
Thank you, Pete. And Francis, whom do we have here?
No one, Sean. The Micallef Tonight strumpet is presently enticing a member of our audience up here, Ian, as we speak.
No matter. Let's find out what they'll be playing for when they do. Pete!
That's right, Sean. Our lucky contestant this week will be the one missing out on winning this outdoor furniture set from Sunlander. Once you experience the total sitting pleasure of Sunlander, you won't stand for anything else, except for the national anthem. Sturdy, beautiful, modern. All words which can be found in Webster's Dictionary. In fact, with 3,075 pages of them, and in an order which can only be described as alphabetical, you can't go wrong. Webster's, the last word in dictionaries, but only if they leave out anything starting with X, Y, and Z. Tired of tiny fridge magnets? Sick to death of your children's drawings cluttering up the door when you want to get out the ghee? Then why not try the disguise your fridge as an oven giant fridge magnet? Confuse your child and double the appearance of ovens in your kitchen today, or tomorrow, depending on when you start using it. Back to you, Kath and Kim.
Thanks very much, Pete.
Sean, here comes the Micallef Tonight strumpet with this evening's audience member.
Oh, well done. OK, thank you. Please thank the Micallef Tonight strumpet. Only a matter of time, really, before one of us dressed up. And hello, how do you do, sir?
Sean, this is Timothy Wotherspoon. He's from Brisbane.
Timothy.
He's thinking of moving to Melbourne for the weather. He is a university student. He enjoys reading and going to the park.
OK, well, Timothy, what does the weather have here that Brisbane doesn't have?
Rain, cold, all those sorts of nice things, you know.
All right, well, you'll enjoy putting your head in this barrel of water tonight because it has all that. And what are you? Are you a student? Are you working?
Yes, I'm studying music.
Studying music. What sort of instrument do you prefer?
Piano.
Piano, all right. Do you have a Stradivarius?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I have a girlfriend.
You have a girlfriend? All right. Well, might play her tonight. All right.
No, you won't.
All right, no, I won't. No, I certainly won't. No, Timothy, I know.
You can, if you like.
Timothy.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, now, Timothy, have you ever bobbed for an apple before?
I can't say I have.
I know, it doesn't surprise me that you're giving me that answer, right? What you do, well, Francis will explain to you, I suppose. I'll explain, I suppose. If each of the apples is numbered with a number, and that corresponds with a question, and we'll ask you the question, a very simple question. Francis, in fact, will do that with his voice box.
It'd be a pleasure.
And then you answer the question, that's linked to a prize. It's actually it's not quite as simple as I thought it was. It's actually quite complicated. And you could win a fabulous prize, Timothy. And that fabulous prize, Pete?
Yes?
Nothing. All right, Timothy, you've got 20 Earth seconds starting from now. I should remind viewers that at 3:30 a.m. on Channel 9, the Goothy Ranker advertorial is on, so mark that one down in your diary. Won't be quite as interesting a read as... Oh! Did you use your mouth or just your hand?
I use my mouth and my hand.
OK, well, Bob, Timothy, very good. Number 40. Now, you said you had a girlfriend?
Yes.
All right. Well, she might be enjoying a romantic dinner for two tonight at Balzac's restaurant. That's the gossip I've been hearing. You should pay more attention to it. I should bring her along tonight. No, but Pete, seriously, what's Timothy really playing for?
Sean, Timothy has a choice between this beautiful framed Dogbert Fulton cartoon of the Micallef Tonight team or 2 tickets to see Craig David live in concert.
Well, Timothy, it's a difficult one, I'm sure. What would your choice be? The Craig David tickets or the Dogbert Fulton cartoon?
I wouldn't mind the Dogbert Fulton cartoon.
Right. Well, all right, you can have the Dogbert Fulton cartoon and the 2 tickets to Craig David. We're just giving it all, and this apple, if you would like, to eat that later on. Francis, the question, if you please.
Certainly, Sean. Now, Timothy, have a look at this picture and tell us the original caption. A, work nears completion on Ian Thorpe order. B, scientists find proof Bigfoot had summer collection. C, Pakistani elves clean child's sandal.
We'll give you some thinking music.
B.
B is the correct answer!
from the Fulton Cartoon. The tickets, the Micallef Tonight Wheel of Three and the Micallef Tonight Show Bag, which is Bert's backyard show bag inside. Thank you.
Pete, tell us things, won't you?
That's right, Sean. All losing contestants on Micallef Tonight take home a Sale of a Century board game. It's a lot easier to play, and the questions are as freaking easy as. Back to you, Sean.
Thanks very much, Pete, and thanks very much, Timothy, for helping us out tonight. Well, like a clock strapped to the bottom of a helium balloon 3,000 feet in the air, our time is up. Thanks very much to our guests, Craig David, Marcus Graham, Nicole Livingstone and David Bridie. And before we go, a quick look at what people will be talking about around the water cooler tomorrow.
So what do you think of that water cooler segment last night?
A bit self-referential, especially this bit.
And what about that guy at the end with the redundant line?
He was terrible.
Mind you, that's just our office. All right, to take us out tonight, another of our trips down the stairs and into the vaults here at Channel 9, where we lie unconscious until the ambulance arrives. Francis, do you remember that In Excess tribute band that you and I and Lavinia formed years ago? No. Oh, don't worry about it. Lavinia, do you remember when you and I and Francis formed that In Excess tribute band a few years ago?
I do, Sean, yes. Can I come back to the studio now?
I told you no! Sorry. Yes, we called ourselves Inaccessible, and when we appeared on the Horry Dargy and his Quartet Explode show in 1984, we blew them away with the aid of a wind machine. See you in the Monkey House, Australia!
All you've got is this moment. The 21st century's yesterday. You can care all you want. Everybody does, yeah, that's okay. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. So slide over here and give me a moment. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind.
This is Pete Smith speaking.